All right, this is code.org HTML class. That's 7th grade. We are working on lesson 4, which is headings. But first we're going to review HTML tags. So in the red box here, we have an example of an HTML element. It's a paragraph element. So when you hear the term HTML element, they're talking about the entire thing from beginning to end. So no matter how much stuff you have between this opening tag and this closing tag, that whole thing will be one HTML element. So a couple of things to notice about the tags. First of all, the brackets around the outside, we're going to be calling these angle brackets. You may be used to calling them greater than and less than signs, but for the purposes of coding, we are calling them angle brackets. Now, inside the angle brackets, any text that goes in there, in this case it's a P, is always going to be lowercase. If you put in uppercase letters, you're going to get an error. So the opening tag for a paragraph is angle bracket, P angle bracket. And then the closing tag, angle bracket slash P angle bracket. So the closing bracket always has the slash added, and that is going to be the main difference between an opening and a closing tag. But always remember, you got to have the angle brackets, it's got to be lowercase, and the closing tag needs that slash. Okay, so next we have the default tags. These are tags that are automatically put into the program. They're always going to be there. A couple of things for you to understand. Doctype HTML tells the computer that this is an HTML document. The opening HTML tag needs to be the first tag, and the closing HTML tag needs to be the last tag. Everything that you want to show up on your web page needs to be between the two body tags. It needs to be there. Those will show up automatically. If you want any more information on any of the codes, W3 Schools is a good resource within all of the code assignments. Okay, so we've jumped over to lesson 4, headings. This is the overview screen. It's screen number 1. So we got the vocab of heading, a title or summary for a document or a section of a document. And then the new code, we have angle bracket H1 angle bracket slash H1 angle bracket. Okay, so when we're talking about headings in HTML, the thing that confuses a lot of people is the fact that the sizes of the headings goes in reverse order. So you have H1 through H6. H1 is the biggest heading. You would use that for titles. And H6 is the smallest of the headings, and they go from big to small in between. So the lower the number, the bigger the heading. Okay, so on the next screen, there's a video to watch. One thing I want everybody to focus on when watching this video is how to properly do the pair programming. You are going to learn how to code better and easier if you do it in pairs. So make sure you watch that video and you follow it closely. Instructions are up here. Again, make sure you scroll. But over here we have our list of pages. This is index.html. That's our main page. We have our default code. We have doc type, HTML, head, closing head tag, the body. And then all this stuff here is stuff that we want to show up in the body of our page. So when the web page is done, all this stuff that's in it is in between the two body tags. And then again, the closing HTML tag at the bottom. So one of the tools that you have in code.org is the inspector. So if I turn the inspector on and I go over here and I click or hover over my hobbies, I can see over in the code section, in the work section, that it is H1 for the tag. So that's our largest heading. Soccer, right below, is a little bit smaller. That's H2. 5 years is even more smaller. That's H4. So just keep that in mind as you are going through this. When you get to the end of the assignment, we're up at level 9. You're going to be working on your own website. Okay. Once you start working on this website, it will save it automatically for you, and it will also bring you back to where you need to be as you go through all these lessons. And then on level 10, this is where you are going to actually be working in the website, and hopefully you don't get the live preview. If this ever happens to you, and this is a common error that we get on code.org, go up here to the upper left-hand corner of the screen and click the reload button or the refresh button, whatever you want to call it. Just click it. The page will reload, and 99% of the time that's going to fix your problem. So make sure you're working with partners and make sure you're following the directions closely. It can get very confusing. If you have any questions, that's what I'm here for. That's my job. So that is it for today. Oh, one other thing. I was walking down the street earlier today, and this guy walks up to me and he says, "What rhymes with orange?" And I said, "No, it doesn't."